Didn't get the piece of paper.
Oh,
Hold on.
All right.
Myca, unmute.
All right, there we go. All right, now I'm okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be spending the morning with you and kicking off our day. Happy Wednesday. I'm going to get us going here. Awesome. Well, yeah, so thanks for letting me spend the morning with you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed just the time that we've had in the mornings. It's been refreshing. I know it just sets us off in the right way. It seems like when we get our mind right, then our day is more productive. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk through this morning, is just the idea that if you want to be able to do the supernatural, you have to be consistent at doing the natural. And every single morning we have a choice to either live life or let life live us. And we can either set the agenda or we can react to whatever presents itself in front of us as the most urgent thing, right? Like, how many times do we set out with the day and we're like, I've got good intentions to do this thing or that thing. And then the most urgent thing comes and it like grabs for our attention and it sets us off in a completely different trajectory for the day. That's frustrating, right? And it happens. Sometimes it's just what it is. But when we can prevent that, we're going to be more productive. You know, we talk a lot about building someone else's dreams, about not building someone else's dreams, but building our own. Yet oftentimes we fail to proactively plan our day and just succumb to whatever is thrown at us. And that puts us in a reactionary mindset and not a proactive one. So when we think about winning the day, it's important to realize that your current system is designed for the results that you're getting. And so if you're wanting to level up, then it starts with designing a different system, and structuring your morning is a good place to start with that. So I don't know about you, but personally, I'm a big fan of making my bed in the morning. It was a discipline I started a few years ago because I needed to prove to myself that I could be disciplined every day. And in the book, Win the Day, which I'm going to recommend a couple books to you guys. This one actually doesn't have the cover on it, but it's called Win the Day by Mark Batterson. I'm still in the middle of reading it, but it has been incredible. It is such a good book. And I would highly recommend that you get it and start reading it if you haven't already. But Admiral McRaven says, you can't do the little things right, or if you can't do the little things right, you will never do the big things. And so I never understood the idea of like, what's the big deal with making your bed? Well, if I can't do the simple, small things, then how am I going to do the big things? So never underestimate the power of doing the mundane things, like making your bed and structuring your morning. So as we kick it off this morning, we want to start with writing down what we're thankful for, what we're grateful for. In our house, we call these our thankful fours. Tell the girls, what are some things that you're thankful for? So go ahead and write down at least 3 to 4 things that you're thankful for, grateful for. And if you want to share them in the chat, then go ahead and do that as well. So I'll give you a couple seconds to do that. And if you have a couple things you want to throw in the chat as well, then go for it. All good stuff. I remember one time I was in a place where I did not feel very thankful for anything in my life. I'm like, how could I be thankful for anything? And it was a bad mindset that I was in. I was going through a hard time. You know, I had 4 little kids, all under the age of 4. And it was just like, what the heck do I have to be thankful for? I'm just so in a bad place. And I started this practice of writing down. I mean, it was so simple. Like I had to say things like, I'm thankful I can write a letter or like a card. Like it was so simple. But as I started to just write down even the simplest of things, my mind started to open up to where I started to see so many things that I was missing out on, the blessings I was missing out on because I needed to change my perspective. So having a heart of gratitude is a powerful thing. And so I love seeing everybody's stuff jumping in here, or that you guys are popping in there. So much to be thankful for. All right. The second thing that I think is huge with just setting your morning off in the right start are daily affirmations. Now, a lot of times people will, they've got a list of them, or, maybe you struggle with this. I know that for me, I was like, I don't know if I need to sit here and tell myself how awesome I am every morning, because that just feels weird to me personally. But the thing that I realized was not that I'm sitting here trying to tell myself like false truths or something like that about myself. It's more about the idea that our lives are always moving in the direction of our strongest thoughts. What we think, it shapes who we are, and we aren't who others say we are who we say we are. And so when we're thinking about, and that actually was something I really learned through this book, which is another book, and I think it's backwards, but it's by Craig Rochelle. It's called Winning the War in Your Mind. Has anybody read this book? This book is incredible for mindset. I was so blessed by this, and he talks about that idea that your thoughts, your life will always be going in the direction of your strongest thoughts. So if you wake up in the morning and you're just like, wow, here I am, let's fail my way through today, or how do I think I'm going to be a good coach today? Like I can't even get my own health in line, or how am I supposed to be a leader? I can't even lead my own family. My kid's a mess, or whatever the case may be. When we come at our day like that, then our thoughts are going to determine the rest of our day. That's the direction that our day is going to go in. And so we've got to reshape that. Instead of saying, I suck at leadership, it's to say, I'm learning to be a better leader. I'm becoming a better leader, and I'm going to do these things today to help me become a better leader. So I'm a health coach that has an impact and can make an impact on this world. And so we've got to change that thought. It's the same thing with our clients, when they're in a rut and they're in that habit of, giving into food or temptations or whatever the thing may be, they're in a rut. And so we need to pull them out of that rut and help them to put those healthy habits around who they want to become. And that's the same thing for us as well. Who do we want to become? And so let's affirm that in our lives. So we're going to start the morning with gratefulness. We're going to start the morning with daily affirmations. And then the second or the third one that I think is really funny, I never had heard this before I read this book here, is the idea of eat the frog. And so Mark Twain said the easiest thing to do, or the easiest way to eat a frog, is to do it first thing in the morning. That way you can go through the rest of your day with the hardest thing behind you. Well, I don't know about you, I really don't even want to eat a frog, but the idea means the hardest thing in your life, the thing that you're like, I don't want to do that. I don't know what it might be. I don't know. Think of something that's like hanging over your head right now, and you have to get it done at some point, but you really don't want to do it. And so you keep putting it off, and it just hangs over you. It weighs you down. And so right now, just give a couple minutes. What is that thing that is hanging over you that you need to get done today that you really don't want to do? Tax prep. Oh man, that is on my head. Tax prep. Yeah, everybody's thinking about tax prep. I thought about that and I was like, oh my gosh, I'll just deal with that later. But see, eat the frog, get it done so that you can move on with your day, knowing that that thing is behind you. The hardest thing is behind you. So maybe frog legs are good. I don't know. But I'd rather, if I'm going to have to eat a frog, I'd rather just get it over with. So write down that thing that you've got kind of on the back burner that you need to do. And then today, maybe think about doing that thing first. Let's see. Now, as you guys are writing through your list, and this is, just us structuring out the day. So we've got our frog, whatever that thing might be. Write 3 or 4 more things that you really need to accomplish today. Things that you would consider a win. Like if I could accomplish these things today, I would consider it a win. And those things can be super simple. They could be like making sure that I have quality time with each of my kids. I've got 4 girls. And sometimes the busyness of life, I don't know if I've had a quality conversation with them. And then I get to the end of the night And I'm laying in bed and I'm like, did I even like show my children love today and affection today? And then I feel like a failure. So what are the things that you want to do today that would help you to feel like your day was a win? Those are important. Putting away laundry. Yep. Me too. Yeah. Laundry is a big one. It's like always there. I don't know. It never goes away. So this is how we start winning the day. Zig Ziglar said, you don't have to be great to start, but you do need to start to be great. Everyone on this call has big dreams and wants to accomplish big things. Craig Rochelle, he says the fastest way to do big things is to consistently do the small things right and making your desired actions obvious. And so writing them down, which is exactly what we're doing here, being clear on what those things are. And that will be the difference between good intentions and good results. Right? So we write them down and we have good intentions. We get off these calls, we have good intentions, but that is not going to give us results. And so being clear on what we want to accomplish is going to be the difference between good intentions and good results. And as we seek growth in this area, we know that we must embrace the obstacles as the way. And that leads us to our third habit of the Optavia transformational leadership principles. We've been covering those this week. And so in that habit 3, it basically says that when challenges arise, Optavia leaders find the opportunity to see the gift in the obstacles. If there aren't any obstacles, we realize we're not pushing hard enough. Once the challenge arises, it means that we are ready to embrace it. As we understand, it is our relationship with the obstacle that is key. Optavia leaders change their perspective to see how they can use the obstacle to create their future. And so if there's an obstacle in your way that's presenting itself as an obstacle throughout your day that's preventing you from growth, identify what that thing is. And it could be something like kids. A lot of times busy moms, they say, my kids are preventing me from, doing this business or growing my business or that kind of thing. I am a mom with 4 kids very close together. I homeschool. And here's my solution. You've got to live in structure, right? Structure is the key. Sometimes that it might be laziness. Sometimes we just struggle with being lazy. How do we pull ourselves out of that? How do we use that obstacle to grow? And how can you look at it differently to see that the obstacle is just the thing that you need in order to help you, stretch and grow? Kind of fighting off a cold. So how can you shift your perspective around that obstacle to see that it's the opportunity for growth? Remember, it's important to realize that your current system is designed for the results that you're currently getting. And as you implement different habits and structure, it will be common for the urgency of life to creep in and want to take that time for you. But if you've got those desires to hit ED, and it's on your calendar and you have good intentions to make, if your desire is to hit ED and you've got power hour scheduled on your calendar and you have good intentions to make power hour happen, but then grandma stops by or a friend stops by, you have to make a decision to keep that promise to yourself, or you're going to make the decision to break it. And when you continually break the promises to yourself, you're going to be frustrated by your results. And so you have just understanding, we've got those things on our calendars. What decision are we making throughout the day? And are those decisions taking us closer to our goals, or are they keeping us held down? And are we going to be frustrated with the results that we're getting? And we shouldn't be, because really, even though the stuff's in the calendar, we're not doing it. And so we're frustrated, but we're getting the results that we have, we are designing, right? That's our system. We put it in our calendar, but then we break our own promises. So whatever's in your calendar, whatever you want to grow to, whatever thing that you're thinking about today that you want to do, make sure that you're keeping your promise to yourself. Make sure that your structure and your habits are aligning with your goals. And I'll just leave you with one last thought as we are about to wrap it up. The way to win the day, I believe, really starts at sundown. And so the night before is really when your day starts. I look through my calendar. I look through what my situation of my house is. I want my kitchen cleaned up. There's certain things that are like triggers for me that I feel like, oh man, when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to be like a tornado, like a mess. If I'm like, why isn't the kitchen clean? What did we do? Why are this, what, like, not to say like I'm just running around the house like a mad woman. I feel it inside, but that's where the night before, I want to make sure that when I wake up, I have set myself in a place and in a headspace to say, I'm ready to hit the day. I'm ready to conquer the day, not run around being frustrated by all the things of yesterday that piled up that I didn't get to. And now I'm overwhelmed. And so I look at my calendar, I plan out my day. I'm starting my day the night before. So I hope that you guys have an amazing day and that you guys are able to live in structure and that really, whatever it is that you're hoping to do and accomplish, that you see that your systems are going to produce those results. And if you're frustrated with the results that you're getting now, it's a good indicator to take a look at your systems. All right. Have a great day, everyone. We have Power Hour later today, I think, right? Josh and Michelle? Yeah. So hope to see you guys there. And yeah, I guess that's it. Awesome. Take care, everyone.